Chris, so you mentioned if something's to happen for any of those coaching positions, you have to have names in your back pocket. It seemed like Gerad Parker.
Well, as an AD, but also as a head coach, right? So the head coach should have 3 names in the back pocket too.
This guy right here, Gerad Parker, is definitely a name in the back pocket. Someone with
there you go.
The experience coaching as an offensive coordinator, I think, is a little debatable because some people say, oh, well, he wasn't calling the plays at all this time, for the whole time, but then he was a little bit of part of the season. I don't know, but at least for the 2020 or 2 seasons, 2020 and 2021, he was the offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach at West Virginia. Like I said with Tim before we brought you on, Chris, was he's somebody throw on the hot boards. You mentioned him as a candidate, but he's not the first choice. But Gerad Parker, Notre Dame's new offensive coordinator. I don't know if you are too familiar with Gerad, or do you have any thoughts on this, Chris, whether it's specifically Gerad or the continuity of hiring from within? Like, how important is that?
Well, I think when you mentioned, his name is on the list. You know him. I believe Marcus had a relationship with him for a long time.
Coach with him at Purdue, yeah.
So the idea is now, if I couldn't get my first choices, I'm going with somebody safe, right? Now, I feel bad for Parker because, now everybody's, the first question when he's at his press conference is, hey, how do you feel about being the third or fourth guy?
He's waving around his raise he just got. That's what he's doing.
Or all you got to do is just show the picture you showed before and say, hey, look, I knew where I was at. So you got, who's the next OC at Notre Dame? Make your choice here. But the idea of Marcus being able to find somebody that he can trust is obviously important. Tim, and you talked about this in the past. When you talk about coaches and putting together a staff, you have to find people that you're able to trust. And in that regard, apparently Parker is, 100% of what Marcus wanted. It's just frustrating that we had to see it as fans. We kind of had a chance to see the process out in public. And that's my concern, is that, when you talk about kind of the optics, and the frustrating part about that is you see other programs who know how to do it, and then here we are not sure, did we do the research? If we're bringing him, like Tom Mendoza said, as soon as his butt is on the plane, you know that this person is going to be in. You know at that point, you're going to be able to announce him as, the offensive coordinator of your institution. And that didn't happen.
Yeah,
so comment. Let me just ask you a quick question. So is that part of this learning curve we've been hearing about for the last 13, 14 months with Marcus Freeman, right? It's the first time he's ever had to do this, Chris. He's never had to go out and hire a head coach of the offense because Reese was pretty much there for him. So this is the first time he's had to do that. I think he had a list, like you said. He brought in Colin Klein, who he doesn't know. He brought in Andy Ludwig. Obviously Ludwig's a heck of a coach, and was he branching out? Supposedly there's articles out there. He did like 12, 13 Zoom calls with coaches. Mm-hmm. So he's obviously reaching out for the first time, trying to build the network, because his network is really small.
Right. And that's what happens when you're the head coach for the first time, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that we've learned when he had that chance to maybe hire his own OC, that wasn't in his favor at the time when he was given the position as the head coach. So now he has his chance. I'm sure he doesn't want to blow it. And so he has his list, right? And I'm not sure how that process goes. But again, when you look at kind of on the administration side, I mean, all these phone calls, all these conversations need to happen outside of the eyes of the media, which they obviously did. But again, those are conversations of, hey, how sure are you coming? What are the hangups? What do we need to do to make this right? And again, if we're looking for examples, we see Tommy Reese board a jet and he doesn't come back. But yet, when we're trying to do it, guy gets on a jet, goes to a hockey game, but then he goes back home.
Yeah, that's the killer. As you know, I mean, you just interviewed the guy. Obviously, you want him. You've talked about all those things. all right, go home, hang out with the family, enjoy Super Bowl, tell us what you think in 2 days. It's like, whoa.
No, I mean, that's not part, I mean, part of, and I said before that, I work for an executive search firm, and we know when we're putting when we're putting candidates in front of our clients, we have to know everything. We know how old their kids are, we know what school their kids go to, we know who their nannies are, possibly, but
blood
in
type,
this case,
got it all.
Hey, man, if it helps, if you're doing the search for, a blood bank, yeah. But the idea is that you need to know everything before that person gets on the plane. And that's why I kind of, I know Tom's getting a lot of crap. I'm a huge Tom Mendoza fan, but he's getting a lot of crap for what he said. One, he's very passionate. Probably he's been on my podcast. Probably the most passionate alum I've ever talked to. Knows more about Notre Dame football than I do. And I think what he said was 100% right. When you make a mistake, let's learn from it. And as he said, Marcus can move on, but have we truly learned? And that's really kind of what I'm hoping we had a chance to kind of learn from this process, is how to do things the right way.